Hi, I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping. Welcome to my craft corner. Do you want to get into coloring your stamped images, but you don't want to spend a lot of money and get a lot of colors? I have the perfect solution for you. It is the watercolor pencils. They are quick and easy to use, especially when you use them with our blender pens. They're also great for kids because they're no mess, no fuss. So easy. I'm going to show you how to use them with our True Love Designer Series paper. I think you're going to love this paper. It's absolutely gorgeous pattern paper. Before I get started, if you have any questions about card making or rubber stamping, or you'd like to attend a card class or an all-day online event like my Stamping Cross Country event that I have coming up in April, or you just want to hang out with me over on Facebook, I would love any of that. Go ahead, leave me a comment, send me an email, or follow one of the many links to all of my different social media that you will find in the description to this video. In the description, you will also find a link to my website where I have the dimensions for today's projects, the supply lists, and more still photos. All right, Oni go, let's get stamping. For today's card, I'm going to use the Happy Thoughts stamp set, which I've used before. It's just a really, really great, simple, basic greeting set. So we're going to use that. And then what's really fun is I'm going to use some watercolor pencils. I'm going to show you how to make some great colors with the watercolor pencils and the True Love Designer Series paper. So this True Love paper is this gorgeous black and white florals design. And then what I really, really love is that on the other side, you have all these fabulous black and white patterns, which I love patterns, and black and white patterns are gorgeous. So let me set this aside and let me show you how quick and easy it is to do this coloring. The watercolor pencils come in two different sets, and you'll see one of my sets is a little bit older. So this is the first set, and I think there are 13 colors in that one, and then there's the set 2 that has, well, they don't renumber it. So it goes up to a total of 23 different colors in that full set. So there's 10 in here, 13 in here. And I want to, let's pull these out. I want to use the Calypso Coral. So I'm going to grab my Calypso Coral if I can find it. And they do say what they are on the other end. Let's put them in. So the tip is first. So I have grabbed one of this gorgeous florals that I absolutely love. And I'm just going to very quickly color some of these flowers. Now what I want to do, and I haven't entirely made this sample. I've made some similar samples, and I'm going to show you those at the end. But I'm kind of winging it for this one, and just showing you how easy it is to kind of design and put this together. So I'm going to start by just cutting out some of the florals, and I'm going to grab some of these from the sides because for the design that I'm planning in my head, part of the flower is going to get covered up anyway. So I'm going to see if I can use some of these side bits and not waste them. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and just trying to see which ones I want to grab. Let's try this one over here as well. And I'm just cutting these out. There's lots of space in between them, so it's easy to just grab a cluster. And let's see if that's going to be enough. They're going to go underneath some paper. So I'm going to do this one. And this one, and then maybe this one down here. Yeah, that should be, I think that will be enough. So we'll grab those flowers, and I'm going to use my Calypso Coral watercolor pencil to color these in. Now I'm not going to color the whole thing. I'm going to primarily color on what I like to call the cheater lines in these flowers. How they have all this kind of shading lines in here. I'm going to color over those, and I'm going to color kind of dark. I'm really giving this some good pressure. I'm just going to color over all of those. So I have colored in that Calypso Coral in the dark cheater lines there. I'm also using a blender pen for this. Now this should not be confused with the Stampin' Blends. The Stampin' Blends are an alcohol marker. This is a blender pen. And it is just, I don't, I'm not even sure exactly what is in there, but there's some sort of liquid that works kind of like watercolor. And what I'm going to do, what I have found is that I'm going to first go over the bits that I have colored darker, and I'm going to go ahead and leave some white areas. And then I'm going to go back and blend out into those white areas. What I found was that if I try to just color over the whole thing, is I completely lose any of the shading that is there. It kind of all turns one color. So instead, I'm just going to color over the darker areas first. Just like that. And then I can kind of wipe out some of that and come back and color out to the edges. And this helps preserve some of that shading. So we get some lighter areas and some darker areas instead of it all kind of turning into one color. So there is the Calypso Coral, and you can see that has all pulled out. Once the watercolor pencil gets just a little bit wet, that color really likes to move. So now I'm going to grab some Granny Apple Green watercolor pencil, and I'm just going to scribble on there too. And again, you don't really have to, do a really good job coloring. It's just kind of a scribble, and I'm not covering the whole leaf. So there's my leaves, and then I'll do the same thing. I have found when you are working with these is that once you get the watercolor pencil wet, it's hard to color over them again. You can a little bit, but it doesn't come on quite as smooth as it does before you have watercolored over part of it. But I can come in, so those are Granny Apple Green, and I can come in with a little bit of Garden Green and just add a little bit more color, a little bit darker. But again, that it just doesn't glide on there as well. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color all of the rest of my flowers. So after coloring, I'm going to go ahead and just fussy cut around these flowers. And I'm being kind of careful, but not super careful. I could take more time and get a little bit closer, but I like leaving a little border on there. And you'll notice when I fussy cut that I do move the paper, not my scissors. So I move the scissors very little, and mostly I am moving the paper. So now I have colored and fussy cut all of my flowers, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment for our stamp for this card. So again, I'm using the Happy Thought stamp set, which is really great because it has some good kind of outsides to your card, and then it has some longer insides too. So I'm going to start with the Happy Birthday stamp, and I'm going to ink this up with some Tuxedo Black Memento and just stamp it on a piece of basic white cardstock. Just like that. And then I also want to grab another one. Let's grab this one that says, "Today is great because it's all about you, the great person you are, the great things that you do." So we'll grab that one too. I'm going to put it on a block. And then I have a piece of basic white cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that right up here at the top. It just barely fits. So this will be for the inside of my card, and I'll go ahead and set that aside. Now I have a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 inch cardstock that is scored at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to go ahead and fold it on the score line to create the base. And I have a piece of that gorgeous True Love Designer Series paper that I want to put on the front of my card. And I'm going to grab 2 of these flowers and see if they will work on here. So there's one. And here's the other. Oh, that's pretty. All right. And I'm going to cut out. So I have this stamped Happy Birthday, and I have the tailored tag punch. I'm just going to slide that in. I always punch upside down so I can look at what I'm punching and try to get it straight, although that doesn't always guarantee that it's straight or centered or anything else. But I have that, and that's going to go right on the front here too. So that will be great. Fabulous. Ooh, so pretty. So we'll set that up just like that. Let's go ahead and glue down. Actually, I'm going to set these right like this. All right. It's always tricky to figure out how do you want to do it so you get them in just the right spot. I think, well, all right. I think this is a little bit different method than what I did before, but we're going to go with it. So I'm just going to come in here and put this up towards the top. There's only glue on the flowers right now, so I'm just using the striped paper to figure out exactly where I want to put those. So there's one set of flowers. Ooh, and I think this one was supposed to go first, but that's okay. Put some adhesive on these. You lay things out and then they never quite end up exactly how you laid them out, but it's good. It's all good. Go ahead and kind of put this flower down here and actually slide it down even just a little bit. Let's go with that, shall we? And this will be right in here. And that will work. Ooh, that will be pretty. So now that I have those florals on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to turn this off, turn this over. And of course I got some glue on the back of my card. I'm just going to trim off those ends so that they are flush with the edge of my paper. Get rid of those. And then I'm going to take my piece of striped paper and we'll put this on here, laying over the edges of those flowers. Isn't that fun? I love the look of that. Now I have some of the well-suited trim combo or twine combo pack, and I'm going to take that and I want to make a double. So first I'm going to just put it in here and kind of see what length I want. And then I'm going to go ahead and double this, make this twice as long. Because I want a double bow. So we'll put this on the front. Pull this around. Try to get this all situated. And then I'm just going to tie it over here. So we'll tie it down here in a nice bow. And that is too loose, so we're going to do it again. And if you can hear it, my cat is now distracting me by trying to come in my office. So we'll just tie that on there. Pull the bows, pull those loops down. And I did not get this very square. It's kind of sideways because I was holding it sideways, but that's okay. I kind of want it just a little bit sideways. Now what I like to do with a double bow is I always kind of pull one string on each side so that the bow ends are different lengths. It helps them stand out a little bit more. And then I'll take my scissors and just trim those up to a nice length. And then we'll grab our happy birthday greeting. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of here. Just put 4 of them on there. I'm going to use my take your pick tool and grab those right off the back. And we'll just slide this where we want it. Let's see. So just like that, nice fun card. To finish off the inside, I have one more flower. So let's see where we want this last little flower. Where it makes sense. Maybe right there. Just to give it a little bit of color on the inside too. So we'll just pop that right in there. And then just like before, I'm going to trim off that end. And then we'll add this to the inside of my card. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? I love those pops of color on the black and the white. So fun. All right. So there is that finished card. So easy to do, and those watercolor pencils make it, they're easy to work with. They're great for kids too, for doing kids projects, just because they're so easy to work with and no mess, but really economical way to do some coloring. So let me show you my other samples. So I have this sample. And then here is one, they're very similar. I just used a circle punch on that one. And then this one, I kind of went all out, did a whole bunch of flowers, and I added some pearls on here as well and a little bit of Wink Stella. So you can see all of those. They're kind of not enough space in my camera view here for you, but you can find all of the more still pictures and cutting dimensions and all that over on my website. Weren't those projects fabulous? I love that True Love Designer Series paper. It really is true love. And the watercolor pencils, so quick and easy to use. If you need to add some to your craft stash, you're going to find the link to my shopping site in the description to this video, or you can pop over to my website where you'll find links to the full supply list that you can shop from as well. If you liked today's video, make sure that you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and then come on back and see me for more tips, techniques, and inspiration. I'll see you next time.